Peace, love, and light, family, and welcome to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Ty, and I'm super happy to have you. Hopefully you'll take a look around, like what you see, and hit the subscribe button. If you're returning, thank you so much for joining me again. I truly appreciate all of the love and the support. Hopefully you've already subscribed to the channel. You guys, if you're new to tarot and you don't know how this works, it is a general reading, so everything will not resonate. Please take what resonates, leave the rest for someone else. Also, keep in mind that roles are interchangeable, so you should place yourself and everybody in your story where you know they belong, because only you know where everybody goes in your story is your story, not mine. But anywho, we are going to get into a general reading for this Mercury retrograde, because you guys, today, Mercury is officially retrograde, and this is going to be a doozy. Matter of fact, let me not even say that. I don't want to say that. Can we scratch that? I take that back. That's not the energy that I want to have, or the outlook I want to have going into this retrograde. And that's not the outlook I want you to have. I want you to have a positive outlook. This is why we do these readings, right? To get some sort of advice and direction and clarity so that we better navigate this energy. What I want to say is that the energy feels very thick. Okay, going into it, it feels very thick, and I'm getting the sense that there's going to be a strong need for grounding. Okay, so I'm gonna get right into it, right? Because I've been sitting here meditating on the energy for a little while. Okay, and I have a pre-spread here already. One of the things that keeps coming up is forgiveness, right? There's a need to forgive yourself and forgive others. And Mercury does this thing where it brings up old feelings, old thoughts, memories of the past emotions, things that you thought you had already gotten over, gotten through. Those things come up. And it doesn't mean that you haven't made progress. It doesn't mean that you are back at the beginning. It's just for you to review them. If there's something that's lingering, observe those feelings. It's okay to sit with them and let them go. There might be something still there that you need to forgive, whether it's yourself for a certain situation or somebody else. I feel like there's this strong energy here of someone feeling like beating themselves up, okay, for certain things. So it could be that you are experiencing memories of the past that are making you resent yourself, right? Be angry with yourself. Feel like, dang, like, how could I let somebody do that to me? Or, man, that was so hurtful. Why did I put myself in this situation? And I feel like Spirit is saying, look, we as humans are perfectly imperfect. And that is what makes us, that's the perfection of being human, is being imperfect. Is that we're here to have this experience, to learn, to remember who we are. So all of these things that we go through, I know this sounds cliche, but everything has its reason. Everything has its purpose. And ultimately, we chose this place. Our souls chose to come here and live whatever timeline you're living so that you could learn. Okay, so there is a lesson in everything, all right? But there is a need to forgive, right? Because I feel like somebody's replaying certain things. With that, I also feel like, again, there's a strong need for grounding. So if you're not somebody who meditates, I highly suggest that you start right now. You know, go on to YouTube, find grounding meditations, because it'll help to pull you back into your body. Root chakra meditations, right? The root chakra is all about stability. It's all about security and safety. And I feel like this energy of Mercury retrograde a lot of times will cause us to feel, and it's not even Mercury, the energy of Mercury energy, but the fact that these old things come up, and you might experience some anxiety, sadness, different emotions, right? And that kind of, it makes you feel unstable. It destabilizes you. And so when you do root chakra meditations, that helps to ground you. It helps to make you feel safe. It helps to make you feel trusting, right? It improves your trust, things like that, okay? Because I feel like the collective could be experiencing trust issues even, right? with people. It's kind of like this is that energy where you remember certain things that you agreed to, that you signed up for, or certain people who hurt you in the past, who did something to disappoint you, who betrayed you. Excuse me. And those feelings could come up that, and that can provoke, a lack of trust in others and the current people around you, or just, again, resentment for someone. For those of you who are struggling, I feel like somebody's struggling here to communicate, to listen to your intuition. There's a decision that somebody's trying to make. Somebody's contemplating something. And this is one of those times where I wish that I could tell you exactly what to do. I never can tell you exactly what to do. I can only tell you what the energy is telling me. But there's a need here to really follow your intuition. So again, meditation is going to be key during this time, okay? Because I feel like somebody has a desire to do something, and you might be looking for answers outside of yourself, and that's never the way to go, right? We're taught that, right? Society tells us that we have to seek, things outside of ourselves, and that's not the case. This is the perfect time for you to bring that attention back in. If you've been doing too much, doing a lot with a lot of people, this is the perfect time to sit with the discomfort of solitude, okay? If you're not used to that, this is the prime time for you to get in touch with your intuition, especially, again, if you've been giving a lot of your energy out, doing a lot, to come back to center and check in with yourself, right? I feel like there's a large portion of like the collective who's asking, why certain things are not going the way that the collective wants right now, right? And we do that. When we want something, there are those times where we want what we want it now, especially if you've been disappointed a lot in a certain area. And Spirit is saying divine timing is at play. Just because you don't see the results in front of you right now doesn't mean that things aren't happening beneath the surface. And I feel this energy very present, that things are happening beneath the surface. And when this retrograde is over, and even just going into this next cycle of 2026, things are going to be very different. I keep saying it. I've been saying it for the past, it's going to be a year. And we had a very rough, challenging year with, so many alignments and the things happening with all the planets. It was tough, okay? Especially this being the year 9, where we've closed out so many cycles. We've disconnected from people we never thought we'd disconnect from. And this is a time where you could find yourself again reconnecting with certain people or certain things coming up. Maybe a desire to want to reach out. That's something that's strong here. Going back to the message about intuition, sit with yourself, okay? Connect with God and ask God the questions that you're seeking answers to. The answers are never outside of you. The answers are always within. Even if it's something that you feel, I feel there's a lack of trust in self for some of you, okay? And so Spirit is saying, sit with God. Ask God if you're looking for a specific answer to an answer to a specific question. It's important for you to sit and meditate and follow your intuition. Ask God that question, sit with it, and trust that the answer that you need is going to come to you. Even if not in that moment, okay? You send out the signal, you have that, you open up that channel so that divine can come through. You communicate to divine what it is that you are seeking an answer to, right? What is the question, okay? Ask it and then release it and allow things to unfold naturally. You will naturally get the answer that you need, and it will likely come from in a way that you least expected, okay? But yeah, communication seems to be a very big thing here. I feel like there's somebody who's doing a lot of thinking about communicating with someone, and I feel like someone that may be causing someone inability to focus on other areas of their life, okay? That's another thing that I want to point out, right? If you have been sharing all of your attention everywhere, Spirit is saying ground yourself and refocus and realign, because there's a need to step up the effort, right? So if you've been, I can't remember if it was Einstein who said like 1% of success, is it, or something like that, is not imagination, but like perception, and then 99% of that is perspiration or something like that. I probably jacked that up, but you get what I mean, right? Is that yes, you can wish for something, you can want something, you can manifest all you want, but you have to do the work. Right? I was having a conversation with somebody last night, and he said to me, good things come to those who grind, right? Who get it. And it's the truth. Even if it's not like the hard work that we're used to doing, right? When we hear the word grind, like even if it's not actual physical hard labor, sometimes making the effort and grinding means being still, right? Coming back to yourself and learning to trust the process and learning to trust the stillness. And so, but outside of that, the point is that there's always an aspect of you needing to put in a certain amount of effort to make things happen, right? Nothing changes if nothing changes. If you don't actually do something, okay, divine is going to help orchestrate situations for you, but you still have free will. Okay, you still have to go out and get it. There's still some sort of action that you need to take, even if that means, this is not for all of you, right? Even if that means that you reserve your energy, okay? And that's for some people do need to do that. And what I mean by that is, like, as a woman, as somebody who has been single for a long time and just all my life, I was hyper independent. And that's still something that I'm processing and I'm learning to release, right? Which is that hyper independence. But it could be just doing too much in your house, always feeling like you need to clean. Like that was me. I was always like, I need to clean this. This has to be organized. And I'm still that person, like, because I can't function in disorganization. And that's also, your outer world is a reflection of your inner world. So if things are not, organized, or your home looks a certain way, it definitely speaks to things that are going on within you. And also, if your things are not or if your home is not clean, if your home is not organized, energy can't travel the way that it needs to, okay? And things can't flow in the way that they need to. So even in that, right, being hyper independent, for me, the process was learning to not do that, learning that it was okay for me to sit and rest and restore. And that is part of my gift as a woman, right, is using my intuition. And in order for me to do that, in order for me to receive messages, in order for me to connect with divine and be an open channel for communication, I do have to be in a space where I'm receptive and I'm allowing. And I can't, if I'm constantly doing and occupying my time cleaning or organizing or feeling like I constantly need to be doing something or else I don't feel productive, I'm doing too much. I'm already holding too much. How can anything come in? How can anything come in? I'm not relaxed. I'm in action all the time, right? So some of you, that is the effort, while others of you, it is the active, that effort of taking it up a notch, right? Maybe you have been planning something in your head, something that you've been wanting to do, but you haven't actually put in the work because you're not focused. You're not as focused as you need to be. Some of you are not as focused as you think you are, okay? But back to what I was saying, for those of you who are going through something where there's someone who you're not on speaking terms with, okay? For some of you, this is a romantic person who you've had a romantic connection with. I am going to be stuttering because Mercury is retrograde, and you guys, you already see it. Like I just can't get the words out. So bear with me. But there's someone here who is not talking to someone else, okay? The collective, somebody's not talking to somebody. It could be a friend, it could be a family member, it could be a lover, or, somebody that you're dating. I don't know. For some of you, it is not, I don't know. No, yeah. Some of you, it is someone that you are dating, or maybe you went on a date with. It's for many of you, it is a new connection. Okay, some of you, this is family and friendship, right? Somebody that you're not talking to, okay? There's different storylines here. while others of you, it's someone who you actually started to date, didn't really progress very far, and there was some sort of sabotage here. There was some sort of sabotage here, but now I feel like somebody is in the space where there's Mercury energy, right? You start thinking about a lot of cards. You start thinking about, reminiscing about what you did or what they did to you, okay? And I feel like somebody here has someone else that they're not speaking with. Maybe there's some sort of a stalemate. Maybe there's just, someone ghosted the other person, or there just hasn't been any communication. There was some sort of sabotage here, right? But somebody who desires to work on it, somebody who wants to repair this. And I feel like there's this strong desire to want to express something, to want to talk. Let's talk. The hey, how are you? Or hey, can we have coffee? Can we talk? I'm thinking about you. I feel like somebody's thinking about somebody else, and all of a sudden this person who is thinking about this other person wants to let them know that they're thinking about them, okay? So whew, lots of information here. I hope this is not too long. We're 16 minutes in though. Okay, let's dig more into this. I didn't really pre-shuffle these, so that's why I'm shuffling them now. And I try to pre-shuffle because this takes long when I'm recording, and I don't like it to be too long, but I'm not gonna rush spirit, right? So yeah, I spent the day today, it's Mercury is definitely doing its thing when it comes to like me. Like today I spent the day, this weekend I really have been in hermit mode. I did go out yesterday because I needed to a family gathering to provide some support, and that was nice. I got to see a lot of old family members and friends that I haven't seen in years, and even that whole experience, just seeing people and catching up. A family member of mine lost their dad, and the person was like super full of life, as was his wife. And his request was that he wanted it instead of a typical funeral where you're mourning the person. He wanted a celebration of life, and it really was that energy, and it was so beautiful. This gathering, I didn't make it to the actual wake, but I did go to the gathering, and it was such a beautiful, I felt so humbled, and to feel like that love. It was like just this love in the air, this genuine, authentic, pure love in the air of love and support and laughter and memories. But most of all, what I took from that was just this reminder to live every single day, to be grateful, and really to live your life, regardless of what anyone else thinks about you, regardless, like we spend so much time obsessing about what other people think about us, how other people perceive us, that we forget to live. We forget how to please ourselves, how to honor our spirits, how to honor, ourselves in the things that make us happy. And this gentleman and his wife really lived their life that way. This was a couple, elderly couple. His wife passed before him, and I'm sharing this right now with you guys just because it was, I can't even explain it. Like, it was so peaceful, but they were this symbol of life, like living life to the fullest, being forgiving, being open, being loving, and being present. And so that's what I was reminded of yesterday. Yeah, may they both rest in eternal peace. What else? And then today, I spent my day cleaning And this is a perfect time, you know, for you to get into your home and do your cleaning and your organizing and getting rid of things and, you know, revamping, zhuzhing up your place. All right, you guys, let's get into this. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, I hope that you subscribe. Give me a like. It does help my channel. Don't forget to do that. All right, let's get into it. Spirit, what else with these messages here? Please tell me more for the collective. What messages do you have for the collective for this Mercury retrograde? Tell me more. Don't judge me for licking my finger, all right? I'm home. Six of Swords. Moving away, you know, from trials and tribulations. Closing out those patterns. I'm not taking any reversals. But it did come out in reverse, which tells me, yes, there's a desire here to reconnect, okay? Someone who is not, you know, there's that thinking energy, somebody who's thinking about someone, okay, even if that's family. But yeah, I feel like we're moving away, you know, from turbulent times where, you know, Five of Swords energy, which is like mental turmoil, mental conflict, okay? Four of Pentacles came out, you know, with Mercury being retrograde. Be very careful with your spending habits. Make sure that you are being frugal and you're being wise with how you spend. The Nine of Pentacles and the Chariot, okay? So yeah, I feel like the energy right now is really just focusing up and, you know, we're moving in a direction that's making us happier, right? Again, learning to live in the moment, learning to be present with those around us, those who make us feel good. Four of Pentacles is about stability. And this is also the energy that I was talking about when with reference to grounding ourselves, right? So yeah, just feeling the need, you know, to feel safe in terms of our finances. But with the Nine of Pentacles here, I feel like many of the collective are about to go into a very fruitful time in our lives, right? Where, again, putting in the effort. When you put in the effort, there's a quote that's coming to mind, right? Spending a short period of your time living the way most people won't, so that you can spend the rest of your life living how most people can't, right? So making certain sacrifices so that you can experience the Nine of Pentacles. The Nine of Pentacles is abundance, okay? This is one pentacle shy of the Ten of Pentacles, which is like that energy of everything, right? But this is wish fulfillment, and this is the closing out of certain cycles, right? So I feel like we're coming out of a time where we have to be cheap, right, with ourselves. We are heading into a cycle of abundance and prosperity and progress and entrepreneurship for many of you, right? But again, there's a need to put in the work. The Chariot came out, right? So heading towards success, heading toward what it is that we want, heading toward our dreams, our north nodes, okay? The destiny, okay? But the Chariot is also, you know, also says it's not going to be an easy road, right? Nothing worth having comes easy. So there are going to be bumps, and that doesn't mean that you shouldn't keep going, okay? It doesn't mean that you give up. It doesn't mean that you forget about your dream or that it's not working out. No, with every every failure, there's a lesson we learn, right? Every time you get a no, you're closer to a yes. Every time something doesn't go the way that you want it to go, you learn, okay, this is how I won't do it, and this is how I'll do it next time. I'll try again next time, and I'll try something different, okay? The Chariot is about willpower and drive, okay? It really is about believing in yourself and having the courage to move forward. It's also about balance and duality, right? So learning to manage your own energy, and again, not being afraid to charge ahead, okay? I do feel like that's also something else that's coming in. Tell me more here, Spirit. Two of Cups. I definitely feel that, and I've been talking about that for a long time. The World, yeah, closing out certain cycles here with certain people. Now, Mercury being retrograde, okay? If you're thinking about communicating with someone, nothing wrong with that, okay? But if this is someone that you have tension with, like, I mean anger, then if you are not being guided intuitively to move forward with that communication from a place of peace and forgiveness, from a space where you just want to extend that olive branch to say, hey, I would like to revisit, and there's still anger there, then I would say maybe hold off until after Mercury is direct, or be very, very careful. Least said, soonest mended, right? The least said, soonest mended, something like that, right? The less you say, the better chances you have at coming to an amends and or making amends and reconciling or coming to a place of understanding, right? When we say too much, and Mercury very well can instigate in that way, in that energy. It can instigate us to say more than what we need to, and something small can go like way out of proportion. Okay, that's for those of you who have been guarded when it comes to communicating with someone, maybe somebody that you got into an argument with or something like that. With the Six of Swords here, you moved away from that. See, before the Six of Swords, we have the Five of Swords, which is chaos, conflict. Okay, it could be arguments, it could be a lot of tension. So if there's somebody that you someone that you had an argument with or something like that, and you think about reaching out to them, if you're not ready to come from a space of forgiveness and peace, and you feel like you may still be triggered to react versus respond, then I would say hold off on your communication until after Mercury retrograde, okay? And only communicate if you are intuitively guided to do so. We got the King of Pentacles. We got the Two of Swords. And we got Judgment. Yeah. So somebody here is definitely trying to make a decision when it comes to a certain person or some sort of a conversation that needs to happen here. But I feel like the collective is closing out cycles that just, again, are not, put you in a place of confusion or illusion. All right, we're closing out those cycles. The Two of Cups, this talks about contracts. So I feel like we're moving toward the things that are in alignment with us, okay? And this is not just about coming together with somebody on a romantic level. This could be surrounding yourself with friends and family, or even new friendships, right, that are in alignment and resonate with your spirit right now. We're moving away from the things that drained us, okay? The things that caused us confusion, the contracts, the relationships that caused us confusion or took more than they gave, right? The Two of Cups is again also about contracts, right? Coming together. During Mercury retrograde, I wouldn't necessarily encourage you to sign new contracts, okay? However that fits for you. Some of you, that might be a new job. Some of you, it might be purchasing something new. No major purchases during this time. If you can hold off, do it, because this is a time where, we miss things, or, we end up, when Mercury goes direct again, you could end up regretting some decision that you made. Excuse me. If you find that you have to, move forward with something, then just make sure you read the fine print. Make sure that you're coming again from a place of peace and clarity. Okay, with the World card here, again, this is all about divine timing as well. But this is also about, again, closing out some sort of cycle here. There's somebody who has been in a place of indecision with this Two of Swords, right? Protecting themselves. I'm not really sure why yet, but somebody here feels the need to protect themselves. Okay, whether or not it could be that they are, this is a time of authenticity, okay? So I feel like somebody here might feel insecure about their finances, right? Somebody may be struggling financially or just not in a good space financially. And I feel like whoever this pertains to, they're guarding themselves against people who care about them, just because they may not be ready to share with other people, if they don't want, out of fear of someone finding out that they're not as stable as they probably appear to be or would like to appear to be, okay? So I feel like somebody's guarding themselves with that. But the Two of Swords is also a decision. So is the Judgment card here, right? Somebody is realizing something though, right? Somebody who's been spending a lot of time alone trying to come, the Two of Swords is the card of like, I really don't know what to do, so I'm just not going to do anything at all, right? But just remember that no response is a response, okay? So if you're trying to make a decision and somebody's waiting to hear from you, no response is a response. Now, I don't know if that's something that you want them, to feel, right? Because like, it could have been like, hey, do you want to go out with me? Like, hey, do you want to do dinner next week? And then you never reply to that. That sends a pretty clear message to the person. On the negative end, if you are interested in them, if you're not, then hey, cool, you said what you said, you did what you did, right? But I feel like with Judgment here and that reverse talking card there, somebody wants to make amends. Somebody's amends for something. Somebody wants to talk. Somebody wants to heal some sort of a connection, and somebody wants to make a decision to move towards somebody. Some of you are actually going to be traveling somewhere. Some of you, that might be for work, right? To connect and to you decide to move somewhere for a job opportunity. What did I say? The Ten of Pentacles came out. Oh my God, this card was dropped there. I hadn't flipped it over. I love to see it. Yeah, some of you are definitely traveling or deciding to close out a certain cycle somewhere so that you can move somewhere else for either a job opportunity or because there's some other interest. For some of you, this could be a person, right? You decide to move because you have an interest in somebody who is in another location. Like there's a body of water between you, okay? And it could be, for some of you, it could be that you were dealing with somebody for a while, long distance, and finally, and there might have been some fear about, leaving where you are or where you were, but now I feel like somebody's coming, like realizing, no, I need to act, and I need to act now if I want this opportunity with this person. While others of you, yeah, look, Knight of Swords, somebody's coming in fast, right? So where there was a stalemate, there was no decision, someone all of a sudden comes to some sort of realization, some sort of awakening. No, this is exactly what I want. Some of you, it could be a job opportunity, right? Or some sort of a partnership offer that says, you all of a sudden realize, no, like, so again, it might be that you get the answer when you sit and you meditate. Okay, your intuition will guide you. You'll start to see the signs, the synchronicities, if you pay attention, because the signs are always there. We have to be open to them, right? We have to be open to seeing them. But there's some sort of a situation here where someone was fearful, or someone just didn't want to leave their comfort zone. Somebody didn't want to leave, I don't know, maybe they didn't want to leave the apartment, maybe, or maybe they just didn't want to commit to a person or a situation. And I feel like something happens here. There's some sort of awakening. Somebody's enlightened, okay? I feel like all of a sudden this person feels the call, feels the pull in a certain direction, okay? Whether that is in a direction toward a person or an opportunity, you decide, that's for you to decide. But there's an opportunity here that leads to fulfillment and commitment and stability and financial stability and financial security, okay? These could be two people who come together to really help support each other and support their, each other's dream, even if those dreams are different, okay? There might be a cultural difference. There might be a race difference between you and your person, okay? Not all of you. Yeah, Two of Wands in the reverse. So I feel like where the Two of Wands in the upright is planning, I feel like somebody is tired of waiting and someone finally decides to move, okay? Maybe somebody was stuck in that energy for a very long time of indecision, okay? Again, no decision is a decision. So it's kind of like shit or get off the pot kind of thing. All right. But somebody's holding themselves back too from reaching out to someone else. This is also, if you notice upright, she's got a phone here and she's thinking, right? The Two of Wands is a card of planning. Okay. It's also a card of deciding to leave a situation with that wand behind her, a situation in the past, right? So maybe this person had to decide, or maybe, between a past opportunity, it could have been a person that they were still dealing with from the past, and someone new, okay, with this wand here, somebody, a newer connection. And I feel like, so here the person is planning. Here I feel like they're holding themselves back from reaching out. But I don't think that that's going to be for much longer. While others of you, this again could have been an opportunity that you were, pondering. Do I leave what I've always known for this new opportunity, and move toward the unknown? Okay, so somebody could still be stuck in that, but I feel like this energy here, this is not going to be for much longer, okay? If that's you, if that's your person, I don't know. But I feel like something is happening here, where somebody decides to react, to move, right? Their movement happens. Tell me more here, Spirit. Now, again, this is not a time where Three of Wands, it did come out in the reverse. I flipped it. The Three of Wands is a waiting energy again, okay? With it, this definitely confirms for me that this person is, somebody here is tired of waiting. Somebody here, either that's you or somebody on your mind, or somebody realizes that they don't have a lot of time to make a move, okay? It could be that there's, there's a deadline on the offer, okay? Some of you, this could be a job offer, again, or an opportunity, and there is a deadline on the offer. Now, that doesn't mean move super fast, okay? Make sure that you're being logical. Make sure that you're dotting the T's, crossing the I's, reading the fine print, especially right now during Mercury retrograde, okay? If you can hold off from saying yes to things that are being offered to you during this time, hold off, okay? Hold off. If you can't, then make sure that you are getting all of the information that you need, okay? And also make sure that you're connecting with source, that you are connecting with your intuition so that you get that divine guidance, okay? Remember, your greatest ally is spirit. Okay, your greatest ally is divine. All right, so I definitely feel for others of you that this is regarding some sort of a relationship, even if that, it doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. It could be a friendship. It could be a family situation. Somebody here, I feel like, is being guided to make a phone call, is being guided to make a love call, right? To express to somebody that they want to repair a situation, that they want to heal a situation. And I feel like, I feel like they're going to get to either that's you or that's them, all right, whoever this is for. But especially now during Mercury retrograde, I feel like expect to hear from people who you didn't expect to hear from, right? Expect the unexpected when it comes to communication with people who have maybe held back. Maybe somebody didn't express how much they cared about you. They didn't express their feelings. They held their emotions. They kept a lot of how they feel to themselves. I feel like this Knight of Wands is like, yeah, no, it's time to act. It's time to go. Somebody all of a sudden has some sort of awakening or epiphany that says, no, I want to reach out to this person because I feel like this cycle is coming to a close. This is ending. I feel like somebody feels like they're running out of time for something. Nine of Wands, I want to go again. I don't want to give up. Somebody doesn't want to give up on this situation. Something is not over. Even if you're not speaking, even if this is ghosting, right? I don't necessarily, I don't think it's like a ghosting situation, but there's this silence between these two people, these two individuals, right? And I feel like someone here is looking at somebody else like, I'm not gonna go toward you. Like the ball is in your court, right? I've already put in the effort and I put in the energy. I'm good over here. I'm solid in myself. I'm stable. I'm abundant. I'm okay being single if this is a relationship, a romantic situation. And I feel like there's this energy of somebody saying, if you want to come, like, I'll receive you with open arms, but I'm not coming over the borderline. Like, I'm at the borderline and this is where I am until I'm not. Until I, pull back entirely my energy. And I feel like somebody here is starting to feel that someone's gonna pull back their energy. But I do feel like that person, there's a connection here. There's a spiritual connection with that Two of Cups, a soulmate connection, right? Somebody that you, it could be you, it could be your person. Someone's thinking about someone else, and I feel like this person all of a sudden decides, I'm gonna go in that direction, and then you receive like a surprise. It's almost like surprise communication or surprise meeting or something like that. Like, this person just shows up, right? Now that could be that they're showing up emotionally for you after this retrograde, or even they communicate with you or you communicate with them. Hey, I'm thinking about you. Small communication, right? I want to heal this. Maybe we can get together soon for some coffee. I really love the opportunity to, I don't know, whatever, explain myself or talk about this or discuss us or whatever, or heal this connection, heal this friendship. I want to talk about how, we can repair this relationship, whatever that relationship is. All right. Please tell me about this Two of Swords here. What is this indecision? Yes, Six of Pentacles. Somebody wants to bring balance into a situation. Okay, somebody wants to bring balance into a connection. Again, for some of you, this could have been someone who was giving more to another connection with that Three of Pentacles and the World here. I feel like somebody's deciding to close out that cycle to move towards somebody who they are now certain about. Others of you, this could be, again, an opportunity. An opportunity that comes to you from the divine, from source, right? This is karma. This is good karma for you, okay? Where the universe is giving back to you, again, abundance. So you're moving out of a time, we as a collective are moving out of scarcity, right? Scarcity. I don't know how you say it. I say scarcity. Tomato. So scarcity mindset, right? Where we're moving into a time where we're abundant. Bottom of the deck, Ace of Cups. So many of you, this is a new love connection, okay? This is a new, again, something that couldn't really get off the ground, okay? Maybe you went on a date or two, okay? And this was a fresh connection, and then all of a sudden you stopped talking. I feel like this situation is going to evolve in a more positive way, right? Where if someone held back and somebody was closed off and somebody just wasn't fair, I feel like they're showing up even during this retrograde to heal this connection. Now, if we're talking new love, someone who you just meet, you're just meeting this person, you have no history with this person at all, you're meeting them during Mercury retrograde, use your judgment, use your intuition, use your discernment. I feel like, be very logical when coming into new love connections, because Mercury will have you all in your feels, okay? And many times, new love, okay? Someone who you just meet, it might be popping off. Maybe you met them over the last week. Maybe over the last 2 weeks, okay? During the shadow period of Mercury retrograde. Maybe things kick off now during Mercury retrograde. You go on your first date or something, or, you're getting to know this person, and all of a sudden you're feeling all of these things. That could change after Mercury goes direct. You could have a change of heart. They could have a change of heart. And a lot of times that tends to happen. Now, if we're talking someone from your past, even if it's like a newer connection, but someone who you've already been dealing with over the past couple months before this retrograde, things that come together during this time tend to like there's a possibility to heal those connections, right? It means that they're meant to come back. They were never really gone, and there's an opportunity to heal those connections. All right. For those of you, there was something else I was gonna say. For those of you who have somebody from your past who returns, who you had a very rough cycle with, I'm not talking about people that you dealt with who were narcissists or who put you through hell and back, okay? Those you want to be super like warning, 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 okay? During this time, just know that Mercury retrograde is not the best time to like put a stamp on something, okay? It's a good time to heal connections, to talk, okay? Again, coming from a place of peace, coming from a place of love, of understanding. If you are there, right? It's a good time to work on those connections slowly, right? To have peaceful conversations, to respond and not react, okay? It's a good time to remind someone, hey, I didn't forget you. You know, as a matter of fact, you're on my mind and you've been on my mind. And I would love the opportunity to schedule something, you know, a brunch, a lunch, a coffee date. And then scheduling something, and hopefully I would encourage you to let it be after Mercury retrograde, just because, all right? But there is something here that's trying to grow, okay? Now, for some of you, again, that's also following your heart, following your dreams, and believing in yourself, okay? Knowing that, look, you know, you are special and unique, and that is your power. Right? Nobody else is like you. So knowing that you need to show your most powerful weapon, right? Your most powerful tool is to show up as yourself in your own energy. That's what's going to filter out the people who are not your people, the opportunities that are not your opportunities, and attract the ones who are. Okay? Tell me about Judgment here. Yeah, the Emperor. Okay? Somebody's bossing up. Somebody's making a decision. For some of you, this is an opportunity for a promotion or some sort of a some sort of a boss move. Like somebody's being put in a certain position, and there could have been, you know, some hesitancy, right? Somebody was ambivalent about moving forward, and they finally come and they, you know, to a decision. They awaken to the fact that they want this opportunity. And this is about self-belief, right? Believing in yourself, knowing that you can. Okay? The Emperor is someone who has, you know, built a world for themselves, but from scratch. The Emperor wasn't always the Emperor, okay? The Emperor mastered all four kings, all right? The Emperor had to have, you know, the wits, had to have the heart, that courage, had to have the drive with the wands, the King of Wands, had to have, you know, the stability, like be pragmatic, be able to the thought process to put things, to set out a plan, okay? And to act, right? So the Emperor has done all of that. So I feel like this is harnessing your power, somebody who's actually stepping into a certain role. While others of you, again, for the other storyline where this is regarding a romantic connection or relationship, this is actually saying, I want to build with someone. I want to commit. I want to provide stability and safety. And the Emperor is regardless of energy, okay? You could be a female and be in your Emperor energy, all right? Just talks about, you know, being willing to commit, being responsible, being stable, what else? Being reliable and dependable, okay? So yeah, I do feel like somebody finally decides to step into a certain role here. Justice, this is a contract. And this is karma. Somebody's receiving good karma after a period where they've gone, this Six of Swords having been the first one to come out. This is the collective moving away from those hard times, from those challenging times. There's an opportunity that's coming that is, even if there's been a delay, okay? Divine timing is at play. Please don't forget that, okay? Even if there's been a delay, you haven't heard anything. If this is regarding a job opportunity, a business opportunity, some sort of partnership, don't lose hope, don't lose faith. Just because you have delays this is just a pause, and there's a reason for that pause. Okay? There's a reason for the pause. So trust the stillness, trust the pause, because things are not, it's not over. For those of you who this is a romantic connection, it's not over. Okay? There's somebody here who who is awakening to a certain connection with somebody. All right? And the collective, you or your person, flip the roles however you want, might be feeling like you're running out of time because maybe you're not talking to this person. Maybe somebody was out hanging out too much, focusing on other people, or, you know, maybe indecisive about whether or not they wanted to continue to be single. That's about to change here, right? So somebody's holding back from communicating because they need to process. They're thinking about what they want to do and how to move forward. Although I feel like then there's a moment where somebody starts to feel that anxiety of acting, you know, because they feel like they're running out of time. Even if you feel that way, sit with yourself, get some intuitive guidance, okay? And if you still feel like you want to reach out, then it's okay. You can reach out so long as you're mindful about how you're communicating, what you say, and also, you know, knowing that it could be small communication, okay? A small step in the right direction. All right, with the Justice card at the bottom of the deck, again, this is about contracts, okay? Someone may be, you know, some of you might get engaged, right? Might just be like, you know what, I want to, or finally get married. Others of you, it just might be, you know, solidifying a relationship or going to the next level. Others of you, this is karma, right? You're being blessed with something because you haven't been a piece of shit. I always love saying that, okay? But, you know, and others of you, this could, if you're looking at a legal issue here and you're waiting for some sort of a legal decision, I feel like that is going to go in your favor here with the Justice card coming out in the upright and the 6 of Pentacles, the 9 of Pentacles, the 10 of Pentacles, the Emperor. That's going to go in your favor. So again, trust the pause, trust the delay. Don't try to rush anything, all right? Look, the Wheel of Fortune just came out as I say that, right? This is a turning point. This is the turning point. Please tell me about the 2 of Cups. This is a long one. I'm about to finish this right now. Tell me about the 2 of Cups. Whoa, too many cards. Tell me about the 2 of Cups. 2 of Cups. Two of Cups. The Page of Swords, yeah. Somebody's watching, somebody's paying attention, somebody's not speaking. They're trying to get more information. Maybe trying to figure out, how do I come back in? How do I reconnect with the collective after this pause, okay? While others of you, this is just learning, getting more information. Yeah, somebody's out in the cold. Somebody feels rejected, or somebody is afraid that they will be rejected if they try to communicate with someone else. Again, sit and meditate, okay? But the Page of Swords, this could be getting more information about what you're being offered, being clear with contracts before you sign them, all right? And if you need to ask for more time, if somebody's offering you something and you start to feel anxious because the deadline is approaching, communicate and say, hey, this is something that I'm really considering, that I'm really thinking about. It is a major move for me though. Would you mind giving me an extension? I really need to sit with this, you know? Can you give me 2 weeks? Can you give me 3? Whatever, you know? I'm not going to say that, you know, that's the case, that they're going to be, you know, if this is a job that needs the position filled, you know, ASAP, well, then, you know, that's you know the details, right? So some of you can do this, others of you can't, right? Others of you, you are on a deadline, and that's a strict deadline, and you just need to make sure that you're getting all of the information that you need before you make a decision, right? Make sure that it's fair, make sure that it's equal, all right? Make sure that the whatever it is that you want, that you're not compromising your values, your morals, or, you know, your own goals, your own the things that you want, okay? Like, make sure that you're negotiating your wants as well, okay? Don't be afraid to negotiate. That's what Spirit is saying. Tell me about the World here. Oh my gosh. Tell me about the World here. Three of Swords. Yes, this is the end of disappointment. This is the end of hurt. This is the end of three-party situations, right? Third-party situations where you were put in situations that led you to heartbreak, that led you to pain, it's the end of that. And we're heading into a time of commitment. Again, some of you are going into a time where you are going to be in a committed relationship. A lot of you have been through some in love, okay? When it comes to partnership, I feel like a lot of you, there's a level here with the Page of Swords. There could be, the lack of communication here could indicate also, a lack of maturity. All right. It could be lack of emotional maturity, somebody who doesn't know how to communicate, maybe somebody who hasn't been in a committed relationship like this and really just doesn't know how to express themselves. Okay. But you're coming out of a cycle of, just disappointment. You're putting an end to that cycle. Whoa. Or, you're closing that cycle out. Yeah. You're walking away from anything that does not feel good. Okay, if it feels like it hurts, if it feels like it's not reciprocal, like they're not reciprocating your energy, your effort, your time, your attention, if it feels confusing, if it feels like it isn't what you want, what fulfills you, okay, you're walking away from that, right? You're walking away from that. The collective is leaving behind, those situations. It's like, I'm not doing that anymore. I've learned the lesson there. All right. And I'm moving on. A lot of you are feeling like, you know what? I'm just focused on my money and I'm focused on success. And a lot of you, that's what it is, right? Refocusing on your passions, on your purpose. All right. And on your success. And a lot of you are working toward some sort of promotion here. And I do feel like that's coming in for you, okay? Queen of Pentacles. We got a King and we got a Queen of Pentacles, okay? So this is all about knowing your worth, valuing yourself, not compromising, right? I'm not compromising. There are some non-negotiables here, and I'm not compromising myself or my feelings ever again for the sake of somebody else, right? I'm never going to go to war with myself again for somebody else, okay? Bottom of the deck, we have the Page of Cups. There's some sort of apology here, all right? Somebody who wants to make amends, okay? Somebody who's missing someone else, somebody who regrets something, okay? So you're going to get a lot of this energy. Look, we have the Devil card here, okay? There's a lot of earth energy here. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, okay? May mean something to you. It may not, but that is present. I did see the Hierophant. There's Aries here. There's all the signs. I don't see, well, no, I do. I was going to say I don't see a lot of cups, but I do. We got Leo, we got Scorpio, we got Aquarius, and I see the star at the bottom of the deck. I'm going to leave it there. There's somebody here who wants hope and healing for this situation, all right? There's somebody here who regrets something, all right? Who maybe acted out of, ego, maybe acted from a place of toxicity, just unhealthy habits or unhealthy behaviors. Somebody who sabotaged themselves, okay? Because when I look at the Devil and in the pre-shuffle, there was this card, Sabotage and Rebuild, okay? And so I feel like there was somebody who is standing in their own way, okay? And the Devil is all about self-imposed bondage. So somebody who stays in a certain cycle, in a certain situation, because by their own doing, okay? This could be ego. This could be desire to want to engage in unhealthy habits, whether that be, unhealthy habits with partners and sleeping around, or, multiple partners, multiple people, or just, maybe addicted to going out, gambling, things like that. All right. But there's somebody here who made some sort of unhealthy decision and now they're in regret. And now they want to come in and they want to apologize and they want to heal this situation. And I feel like whoever this is, whether this you or your person collective, it's not like you're not expecting, or they're not expecting this message. But I do feel like this situation, there's an opportunity to heal this situation for those of you who are going through this, right? With the Star card here, this is hope, this is healing, judgment, hope, healing as well. Second chances, right? A second opportunity to rebuild or build, okay, on a stronger foundation, on a more stable foundation, okay? You guys, I am going to leave it here. I hope this resonated with you. Thank you so much for sticking with me all this time. If it resonated, please drop a comment down below. Let me know how. I love to hear from you. Give your girl a like. It helps my channel. If you're interested in following me on other social media platforms, all of that information is going to be in the description box below. I love you all so much. Peaceful Mercury retrograde. I am wishing you so much peace. Remember, please do the root chakra meditations, ground yourself, get out into nature. Stand if you're able to, and the weather permits wherever you are. Stand, barefoot in the grass. Just tips for Mercury retrograde. Make sure you triple check your emails, your text messages, for tonality, for if it's work, grammatical errors or things like that. Make sure that you're checking your messages, because this is a time where we could miss the small stuff. Okay, everything is in the details right now. Okay, what else? If you have travel arrangements, travel plans, make sure that you leave ahead of time, because Mercury retrograde can cause delays in traveling. It can cause issues with technology. So just make sure you back up your things, reboot your computers, all of that jazz. And most importantly, make sure that you are communicating from a place of peace. I encourage you to say as little as possible during this time, just so that you can preserve your own peace. Anyway, love you all so much. Peace, love, and light.